Hello and welcome to the second part of force transmission. Firstly, I would like to thank you all for your nice feedback and also for the more criticizing comments. I believe that feedback is also crucial because in this way we can find out where we maybe misunderstood each other. Before I continue with another body area, I want to take on with the elbow and shoulder structure. Why is the shoulder, elbow and hand positioning so crucial to your own training? Because we are not trying to condition ourselves to punch as hard as possible, we are trying to withstand incoming pressure through structure, and that very likely appears like hard punches. That's what I call force is happening, not generated. So when your elbow points towards the outside, you have two options. First, you accept that the efficiency will decrease dramatically because of the elbow is collapsing through the incoming pressure, not even mentioning the shoulders. Second, you try to twist your shoulder and pelvic axis to throw your punch. The problem here is, to do so, you have to lunge out to punch. And in the process of lunging out, you have another problem, and that is that your punch is highly telegraphic and you invite your opponent to hit you. And even when I think that option 1 or 2 is highly not considerable, it's still not impossible to punch someone like that. The human body is made of a lot of parts, and when we are talking about structure, we mostly associate it with a simplified idea of architecture. But the problem here is that structure is something dynamic, and I know if an architect would argue, would also argue that architecture is dynamic, but as I said, we are talking about a very simplified idea. I try to explain this in a very easy way. When we have an incoming pressure, we need to have an affected surface that extends with the pressure. If the pressure is too high and the surface is too small, the surface will collapse. And to transfer this idea to martial arts is a little bit complicated, because what is the surface? Surface are all affected body areas. That means if I push his chest becomes the surface, but not just the chest, because when I push more, he falls down. So when we talk about upper body structure, we mostly mean the sternum and the lower back towards coccyx. So to extend the surface, we have to adjust our body parts in order to withstand the pressure. When he's just now in his elbow and his shoulder and the other elbow and the other shoulder, he has structure. It's not that he don't have structure, but if there's no support in the chest and in the lower back, he will collapse. Just ignore chest and lower back and just try to be in your arms. Okay. Good. Second arm, good. But why? Because even if the elbow is in a good positioning and his shoulder is pressing out, he will still collapse because of my mass behind it. Okay, now we do following. Because we want the surface not just to be here and there, we want it to be from his sternum towards his hip flexors and from his back towards his coccyx. So, when I'm pushing now and he is now slowly getting his sternum inside, you see his back goes rounder. Now he tries to get his sternum down. Good. Now he's in his back. Now he has much more pressure, but still not enough. So when his elbow goes in, his sternum goes in, try to make your back round. Good. So now he's in his back, right? But now he has to move that pressure towards his coccyx. So now it's very difficult for me to push him. Yeah, it's more you open your hand, right now it's like quite even. Yeah. So now you have to go from your sternum towards your abdomen. Good. So push more, push more. This structure is now it's not pretty concrete. So open your fingers. Good. Okay. But the problem is you still have no thrusters in it, and I can still get it. Yeah? The thrusters are a topic for next time. Yeah? But please go back in your positioning. So when he is extending his shoulder blades towards the front, he pulls his sternum in and to create this hollow chest. When he's pressing his sternum down again from here towards his abdomen, he has now one thing. He has a lot of tension, but this tension is, we can call it song or whatever you like to call it, creates that his collarbones are now more flexible. So when he pulls the sternum down and he moves his collarbones out, so the vector gets more narrow and he's going much more against my pressure. He can much more withstand that. So as I said, this is right now not the punch, but when I come here and right, good, come good, good. So he's not jumping out. If you would ignore the chest and just your arms, so he's out. So, yeah. So the thrusters will be the legs, but this is a topic for next time. So have in mind, when you practice, to have not just your arms aligned, but your upper body with your arms, or aligned with your arms. Good. Down. And now, when you twist your hips, you're out. Yeah. You twist your shoulder towards the front. So every kind of twisting in this position leads that you lose your second half you need. Yeah? As your shoulder blades are connected towards the left and the right, or the up and down, or whatever you like to call it, in and out. No, this is not correct. But the moment you twist towards that, twist, good,
like this. Okay.
Right. So you lose that structure point. That means like you're out direct.
Yes.
Yeah? So you have to find a way to not twist. In, come, good, not bad. Come in, good, not bad, good.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so this was today about the chest and the lower back. Please have in mind that this is still not everything, and we will continue next week with the Dantian area, and why I think that this area is the most difficult one, but not because of the structure, but more like the idea that most people have in their heads. Okay, so thank you very much. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you like to follow us, and support us on Patreon, and yeah, whatever. So thank you.